Hey everybody, it's me, I'm back, and guess what? It's time that I do a review of a Nintendo Switch game. I've got Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's right, I'm going to do a nice review on it. I'm going to open this bad boy up. I've already opened it and okay, that's odd. There's a little button on here. Press this button to experience the epic fights that you will endure in this game. Alright. Take this! Oh yeah! Take this! Take this! Oh yeah! Take this! Take this! Take this! Take this! Take this! Take this! Oh yeah! Take this! Oh, holy crap! That was just like a mishmash of everything all at once. Oh my god, I hope the game's not actually really like that when you're fighting enemies. It was so loud. I got a splitting headache. Well, let's go ahead and see if it's any good or not. Ugh. Hello everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and this time I'm back with another game review. This time I'm reviewing Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It was developed by Monolith Soft and published by Nintendo, and it was released on the Nintendo Switch system on December 1st of 2017, and it is a single-player RPG, or a JRPG, honestly, and it focuses on the main character Rex, a young boy salvager who gets in an epic quest across the gigantic world of Alrest, a series of huge landmasses that exist on the backs of giant beasts known as Titans. And as you progress through your 70-plus hour adventure, you unlock several party members as you find new lands, upgrade your character, and become a driver master. Now, the overall fighting mechanics consist of the Arts battle system, which consists of auto attacks with a cooldown timer. Now, as you attack your enemies, your driver arts meter will fill up, allowing for a super attack, and they have different effects for more damage, different buffs, heals, and so forth, and the effects of the power depends on everything, including your enemy's vulnerability and even your location of attack. And throughout your quest, you will get many different weapons with different attacks, along with weaponized life forms known as blades, which you can switch between 3 different equipped blades to allow for even more flexibility in battle. You can even upgrade them with a mechanic known as blade resonance, where you use these crystals that you find to actually create new different blades. Sometimes you'll get common ones, which are kind of random, and the rare ones that are very quite unique. Now, plus each art that you are able to do has 4 different power levels that are mapped to the Switch's right side buttons, with the ability to combine them to an even stronger attack known as a fusion combo. Now, as you progress through this game, when you first start out, it's rather simplistic with the auto attack mode. All you really do is move your character around at first, and you think this doesn't really have that much in depth in terms of the battle. But once you get more characters on your team, and I'd say roughly about the 4-hour mark is when it really starts picking up and starts getting a lot more varied in terms of just what you actually can do, combining your moves with your other characters to get certain special abilities and everything like that. It really does get more complex as you progress. I mean, you figure you're in a normally 3 to 4 player group, plus also, like I said, the blades also play as characters, and you have to boost them with side quests. Keep in mind that if you do not do this, you'll come across the wall pretty far into the game that pretty much they don't tell you this, but once you get to that point, you're going to have to boost up your weapons, blades, in order to really kind of progress. I've noticed that a lot with it. Now, the thing is when I've been playing through with this game, you need to experiment with your upgrades, because it is very challenging, and most of the enemies in this game will kick your butt if you aren't paying attention. You can't really go and fight an enemy that's several levels ahead of you, because they will kill you pretty damn quick. It is actually, once it progresses, it gets quite challenging and difficult. You really need to get into the idea of how to actually combine and do these blade combos with your other characters. Make sure that you have someone who is acting like a tank to get the aggro of the enemies, as you can go and attack from behind while you have your other character as a healer, and so forth. And now most of the side quests do seem kind of bland, and you do need to grind a lot in order to do that. Now, one key thing about this game I've noticed is once you actually gain levels, you don't really get the experience. What you need to do is you have to go to an inn and sleep to cash in on the experience, and at that point, that's where you can actually go to your upgrade screen and upgrade your characters. Now, they did have a day one patch that actually included the Japanese voice acting, which is a good thing, because the American English voice acting I don't like. I think it's terrible. It doesn't sync up. The actors they picked, most of the voices are really downright annoying, and I like the Japanese ones a lot better. But hands down, this game has some fantastic music. I absolutely love it. But one key problem is I think the battles that when you're fighting, your players in your team talk way too damn much. It gets a bit much where they're all saying their little slangs as they're attacking the enemies, and it actually can be quite a pain in the ass to really have a clue what to do when your guys are constantly like, oh, I'm beating your butt and stuff like that. Now, this is a very satisfying and grand adventure, a great game for the Switch with its total massive scale. It does have some decent time-based lighting since there's a day and night cycle, but I have noticed like the shadow effects aren't real shadow effects. They're just like textures there, it seems like. But hands down, since this whole game takes place on islands, because the whole world is pretty much like Waterworld, let's be honest, because of this great tree and everything. As you progress, you get the story. But you know, the cloud effects that they have is very well done, considering, and especially the water reflects and the reflections are very nicely done as well. Now, as you play this game, the image quality, it only runs about 720p when it's docked, and sometimes, very rarely, have I ever seen it get to even 900. It's pretty much 720, and it goes down significantly. There's been some issues I've had with frames dropping after you get to a certain area in the outside world, and you'd have to like reload your game for it to get back out of even staying even close to 30 frames a second. It does bog down, and I think this game is a little bit too much for the Switch, because there are several instances with some of the graphics, some of the pixelation, some of the drawing, that you really think that the system's struggling to actually pull this game off. And in fact, in portable mode, it's even worse. I've had it go from 550 to 350p on portable mode, and it's super messy picture quality. I mean, it doesn't look good at all. I mean, and actually you can get past the pop-in, but it's not as bad as Xeno X was, but like I said, it has that really weird frames per second drop, and you know, the day and night cycle is nice, but I think for every 1 second of game time is 1 second of real time is 1 hour of game time. But I think there's a problem with the memory swapping going on with the system whenever it's actually loading new areas, and I think that's what causes the main problem with the frames per second. This game runs way worse than Zelda, but hands down, it is still one fun game. It is a nice long game. It's got charming characters, good evolution of the characters throughout this game, beautiful graphics, even though they aren't that top notch. The soundtrack, hands down, I think is fantastic and the best thing about this game. And the characters are full of personality, but I would recommend, if you are a big fan like me, play it with the Japanese voice acting. I think it's a lot better that way, because since there's so many subtitles anyhow, you're going to be after reading a lot anyhow. Go back to the Japanese subtitles, because I'm sorry, I think they got a bunch of Australian and British people voicing this, and it just does not come around that good. But all in all, it's a fantastic story. It starts off simplistic, but it has actually a very deep, robust fighting mechanic system in it. Don't let the system fool you. It is not a cakewalk. This game actually is quite difficult. It does have several areas where you better grind or you ain't going to stand a chance, and always work around to figure out the best way to upgrade your weapons. Make sure you do that, and as long as you grind, upgrade your weapons, and be smart, and don't try to get cocky, and watch out for pulling aggro of other enemies in the world. Have fun exploring the areas, even though the other main problem, I think, is the icon that you get. It's a little arrow icon to tell you where to go, but a lot of times it's not that good. You can't really judge where to go because it'll say like you need to go up or down, and the path to get to where you need to go may be all the way like 5 miles over here to get double back around. So it is kind of, some of the levels are quite maze-like and can be kind of infuriating figuring out where to go because the overall large size of this game. But if you can just get past those problems and the slight graphical fidelity problems and the fact that I think the Switch struggles in handling this game, if you like JRPGs, pick this game up. You won't be disappointed as long as you are expecting these slight faults. Hands down, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a great game, and I don't have a problem with actually going back through and playing it again. It does have a lot of good stuff to it, and I can recommend if you have a Nintendo Switch and you want a decent role-playing game, go ahead and pick this one up. You might be able to wait a little bit and actually get it for a discount, but all in all, it's actually worth the $60 price tag for it, even with the problems with it. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I want to say thank you for everyone who subscribes to my channel. I want to say thank you for everyone that watches this video. Please leave a comment below what you think about this game, if you think it was good, if you think it was bad, or what the deal is. Make sure to let me know if you have any recommendations for any sort of games, movies, or anything you want to see me review in the future. And of course, don't worry, I still have my contest that is currently going on until I think it's like the 15th or the 16th. There'll be a little button you can click in the upper right hand corner of the screen throughout this video in order to still enter it. And I always end my videos by saying have fun, play hard, and remember people, the devil is in the details. Peace out.